This episode of Outdoor Journal Radio is brought to you in part by the Invasive Species Center, protecting Canada's land and water from invasive species. Freedom Cruise Canada, rent the boat, own the memories. And J&B Cycle & Marine, your home for all things power sports, boats, and equipment. Thank you.
You think we got audio issues? Oh, no, we're good now.
We're by the way, joining me today up front is Dean the Dancing Machine.
It's nice being up here.
Peter is away today, so we thought we would bring Dean one step forward because I wanted to use this opportunity to talk to you folks and Dean about an elephant that's been in our room for about 3-4 years now. And it's high time that we had a bit of a discussion on it. So stay tuned for that one. Before we go there, I just want to remind everybody that at some point, and by the way, filling in for Dean today is Nikki V.
Hello, everyone.
So if you have any issues,
he's got the buttons. He's got full control over there.
He's got full control. That's scary.
It is.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
That's right. Before we go there, fishingcanada.com, I have it on good authority that the store manager is working diligently to get the sale going.
So, yeah, if you remember last week, I said there's a lot of problems and a lot of red tape.
People don't want to hear about problems and red tape.
I have good news.
People want solutions.
I have really good news. The sale has been increased that we will have products that are up to 50% off.
Oh, my God.
Not all of them. I'm not saying the whole store, but we will have certain products that are half off.
Okay.
That's the maximum. You're not getting any more than that. Hate to break it to you.
I would.
But beyond that, all that red tape I was talking about is gone. So we are T-minus any minute till it goes up. Hell, it might even come up before this as of recording.
All right.
So we just keep your eye out. Shop.fishingcanada.com.
I almost hate even telling folks about it anymore because they think it's me that's dragging this out.
Well, management.
Oh, all right. For those of you watching the Fishing Canada show, Dean.
Yes, the Fishing Canada show. We're actually, I think every episode except one has aired.
Right.
So we're almost done all of season 40.
Meaning now they go into repeat.
They go into repeats.
And so they'll be up for the full 52-week cycle.
Yep.
So you can enjoy them over and over and over again if you're not already doing that through our YouTube channel. Some folks aren't. Interesting stat that I come across the other day is that a vast majority of our folks are still watching the Fishing Canada show on television.
Yeah.
Ooh,
as they should.
Yeah, we've been hyping up. Well, I'm more on the digital side when I see the numbers. So I've been excited about the YouTube numbers. And then when you showed me the TV numbers, it makes what I was excited about not look very important at all. The TV numbers are they're way higher than I ever thought, especially in the States.
Yeah.
Which was amazing to
surprise.
see, yeah.
Our good folks south of the border are enjoying the Fishing Canada show. Just like all other Canadians coast to coast on Global Television Network here, 8 o'clock Saturday mornings, except the left coast, they watch it at 10 and 10:30 between BC and Alberta. And also on the Sportsman's Channel, we're on 4 days a week. Mm-hmm. And, of course, WFN for you viewers and listeners south of the border. WFN has us on for 3 or 4 times a week.
And
one of them being Friday night.
Friday night prime time at 8.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're on Amazon Prime.
Do you think, does that qualify us for, one of those awards? The best TV motion picture. I mean,
it
something.
should. We've never even been the Academy's never been in touch ever.
They haven't approached us yet.
No.
Oh.
There's a bunch of bullshit.
Well, we better change that then. Anyways, that's all happening on Fishing Canada. That's the Fishing Canada News. Live listeners, feedback. Mm-hmm. Dino, in response to our discussion of Garmin's new spy poll.
Yeah, so the spy poll has gotten a lot of feedback, especially from people who I think they're not regular viewers of our program. These are people who pop in and out, because I think that episode only, I think 70% of people, that was the first episode of this podcast they've heard.
Wow.
Yeah, so a lot of people were tuning in to hear about the spy poll. a lot of people outside of Canada. So this guy at Fisherman Stories from YouTube.
Good name, eh?
Yeah, it is good. He's been saying in Eastern Europe that they've had something like this forever called the Polaris rotator.
Did you look it up?
I could not find a thing on it.
Oh.
So either this guy's like maybe like an AI.
Polaris rotator.
I thought, because what you get is basically spell check. Do you mean Polaris? And then you get like snowmobile parts, ATV parts, stuff like that. Right. I could not find this machine. Apparently it can actually lock on to objects like the same way. So if you're fishing a tree here, your trolling motor's locked on it, you can lock your live scope on it.
Right.
To me, I don't even know how that'd be possible because you'd need software.
But maybe they've got software developed that speaks to the trolling motor software, or the electronic software on the boat.
The trend I've noticed, though,
I find that highly unlikely. But
yeah, I've noticed people will write in. We've had 4 or 5 of them now, who they write in and say, "I've had this forever,"
right?
And we've asked them, "Oh, can you explain more?" Then they're gone.
They're gone.
So I don't know.
He goes on to say, hello from an enthusiastic angler in Eastern Europe. For several years now, we've been using alternatives to the spy pole. Several years. So it's not just like lately.
No, he's been on it
several
forever.
years.
Yeah.
Electronic rotators with heading hold functionality. Wow. Such as the Polaris.
Yep.
See, it's Polaris,
Polaris,
right?
yep.
What's the spelling on that? I'm going to try to pull it up.
Polorus. Polaris rotator. It's a very convenient device that has transformed boat fishing with live sonar in our region. I mean, he's got all the parts to it. He's talking the right language.
Yeah.
Thank you for your podcast. I really enjoy following like-minded anglers from around the world. Well, you're quite welcome, Fisherman's Stories. Mm-hmm. And we like hearing from folks around the world that have the same passion and love for the outdoors and fishing as we do as well. So keep it up. Don't let us deter you. This is not a negative comment saying that we
that's great.
Don't know anything about Polaris, but everybody here has looked it up, and apparently,
if you have anything, send it to us.
There you go.
Like honestly, if you're listening, send it in. We want to know about this. This sounds really cool.
It sounds cool because I want to take that down to Garmin and say, hey, you told me you guys invented this stuff.
Yeah.
Conservation Corner, Dino. You haven't done one of these before.
You've made me do them from the little box in the corner.
Oh, okay.
But I can do it from here now.
All right. Why don't you do it?
Did you know our favorite species of sport fish could be at risk?
Why is that?
I know that because I've listened to this show for the last 200 episodes.
That's right.
And we talk about it every week, the grass carp. One of 4 of the invasive carps. They were brought here. Well, they were brought to the U.S. to control aquatic plants, and then inevitably they've made their way up. They haven't made their way up. They have no established populations, which is still good.
Right.
We're at kind of the stage now where we're looking at, if we're at kind of a tipping point, because if they become established, we're going to have to dump millions into this.
Established, what you're saying by established is having the breeding process take place in the Great Lakes.
Yeah. So
now they're established, right? So far, though, they haven't done that.
They haven't established because, so the fish that and they're still bringing these into the U.S. apparently.
That I find hard to believe.
I know. But they are, like, you can still buy them and put them in your lake if you have a little pond or whatever, but they have to be sterile. So they have to be triploids. But the issue is that when you're buying these from a dealer, it's like the fish industry we talk about when you go to the store. You have no idea what you're getting.
No.
So they don't know that these things, the gonads are no good or whatever.
Under black market fish dealers. That's a headline right there.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
But I would have to assume, no, it would be highly unlikely that would happen, I would think, because I would think that all of these triploids that are produced under laboratory kind of conditions wouldn't have a chance of intermingling with wild
No, but
fish.
if I'm a pond owner and I want to save some money and I look up on the internet and find a guy and that, a nefarious guy who's selling these fish, and for him, he's not a scientist. He doesn't know how to triploid them. He's going to sell
So
you.
he's raising him in his pond for sale. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on. So anyways, they started to make their way up. I think Lake Huron last year, a guy who listens to this show, I believe. He caught a monster. It was like floating on the surface. He called TFO. They came, picked it up, identified it. It was sterile. But the fact that I think it was like 70 pounds, the fact that it was that big, I mean,
huge.
it had been here for a long time. So they are up here, and this is the time of year where you need to look out for them.
Best thing to do is make sure that you arm yourself with all the proper tools required to identify them. And that's probably the most important thing at this point. Catching them, targeting them is probably not realistic, but certainly identifying them if you see them out in the wild is, because then you can report it to the authorities and they can do what they have to do. Invasivecarp.ca is the website you need to visit, and they will fill you in with all of the required elements. In the news, brought to you by J&B Cycle and Marine, your outdoor superstore, our good friends from J&B. By the way, have I told you that I believe that they're the world's largest Princecraft Mercury boat dealer?
I've heard it's even more extensive than that.
Is it beyond the? That's
I've
gone
heard that.
beyond that.
Yeah,
Probably.
that's what
I
I've
haven't
heard.
heard anybody tell me otherwise. So. If you're looking for pontoon boats, deck boats, fishing boats, any kind of boat, you need to check them out. Go to their website. Chances are they have it there. Chances are they have it in one of their other stores. Regardless, you need to start there when you're hunting down your perfect fishing, in this case, fishing vessel. J&B actually J&B Cycle is the name, but J&B Cycle, right?
Yep, that's right.
.com.
Yep.
So the story is about April Fool's jokes, because you're watching this probably
April 7th?
April 7th, if it makes it on time.
Yes.
It'll make it on time.
All right, which will be, it's all in your hands, buddy.
Yeah.
Which will, because the pressure's off him today
Yes.
in regards to that. The pressure will be on him in a few moments. But anyways, in the long list of April Fool's jokes that we all like to do and participate in each year, we picked out a couple from the fishing world that we thought you'd be interested in hearing about.
Yeah, so these were written by Joe Albanese. I think he's with Wired to Fish normally. So he posted these, and honestly, they fooled me, which is why I pulled them.
They fooled me, and I'm
Because-
sitting beside you reading this stuff.
So when I saw them, I was like, oh my God, because the articles, you should go read them, and we'll link them and all that, but they're extensive. Like, he has quotes, like fake quotes. He has all this stuff. Like, it's really well done. And the concepts are not that far off.
When I first read it, I thought, you know what? It kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So the first one is that the MLF announces an influencer-only division, which to me, everyone was rolling their eyes and going crazy in the comments saying how bad this is.
Why?
Because it's like you're getting chosen by how many followers you have on Instagram. And
Right.
yeah.
I
so-
really like that idea,
so
honestly.
to me, it's like, okay, why did that fake league go out and get Scott Martin? Because he has a big following.
Right.
So
Right.
so it makes sense.
But in Scott Martin's case, though, he could also, I could put up the argument that he belongs in the MLF regular
For sure.
division.
So I guess what people were mad about, there's like some kid with a couple thousand followers, maybe more than that, but some kid who's not a great angler, like he hasn't proved himself.
Right.
He just is good at like attracting attention, that he could be considered a pro. The biggest thing people were mad
like
about is the prize money, because it's pretty, I think it's $15,000 for showing up. And that people were not happy with that, because like tournament anglers historically, they struggle to get their money.
But think about that, though. I know it's an April Fool's joke, and we all had a laugh after we found out that it was. But this might have opened up a whole new concept of tournament fishing. Why wouldn't you? They're using influencers for everything.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm a tournament organizer, why wouldn't I look at opening up a division just for them?
Especially if you want attendance, like from audience. I mean, that's the only way, really.
Why wouldn't you do one for TV personalities only?
Mm-hmm.
Fishing show hosts.
If Canada did that when I was a kid, and you guys were all fishing against each other, which you guys kind of were, but
but not
a little
on,
earlier.
Yeah, it was on a different basis.
I would have
right?
showed up for that would have been a massive event.
Sure. You drive to the location and watch, right?
Yeah, it would have been cool. So,
Anyways, it was not for real. And we all had to say, "Oh."
It reminds me of like an All-Stars game.
it kind of is.
You know, that's kind of the idea is
Well-
here. It'd be like no different than an NBA All-Star game.
No, it's much different. Let me tell you.
Yes and no,
me
because
tell
all
you-
those guys have huge followings themselves.
Followings, not necessarily the skill set, right? Keep in mind, there's a big difference between a professional angler that fishes MLF, especially a high-ranking member of that fraternity, versus an influencer who picked up a camera one day. He loves to fish, no doubt about that. Picked up a camera one day and learned how to capture images and put them together in a concise manner that audiences, embraced it, and then figured out the YouTube code to get some big numbers. That does not qualify that person to be in the same company as a true professional angler.
Yeah.
So it's not the same.
I don't know if I can
No
think
less-
of one though that is in that position.
Well, you would get like the guys who buy like the Barbie rods and then they have to catch a fish on a Barbie rod. Like they're and I can't even name who that is, but like there are people who are who do that. They shouldn't be fishing against the Johnsons,
No.
right? Like that's not.
It would be really funny though.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. But it would be good entertainment, and I would certainly tune in or watch it or whatever you need to do. And I would dare say that they would do, in terms of audience, they would probably do maybe a little bit better than the pros.
Yeah.
Right? Because they all have a following.
You could do a concept like pros versus Joes. Remember that show on Spike?
Yeah,
where
that
you
was-
get like those influencers to fish against. It'd be like a pro-am
Pro-am,
kind of
basically.
thing, right?
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool.
The second April Fool's joke that caught all of us comes to us from
It's
Fishing
the
World
same-
Records. Same
Yeah,
thing?
it's the same guy. So he wrote another one and put it out like a few hours after that. The IGFA, so the association that I guess they legitimize records.
Yep.
They're,
International Game Fish Association.
Right. Yep. That they are introducing a forward-facing sonar division to separate people who caught their fish using live scope and not. Which I could totally, the way things are going, I could believe it. It's a very believable story.
It was a really believable story, but then when you really start thinking about it, that would be kind of like the golf world or hockey world or whatever saying, okay, we're going to start another league, but in this other league, you can't use curved sticks, or you can use totally uncontrolled curved sticks only.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what an interesting example, though, is the steroid era of baseball. They don't look at the stats in that era very often because it's enhanced.
So then you do a steroids league.
Yeah, which would be amazing for baseball.
We should have a steroids Olympics, okay? Just saying. Get everyone like massively, hugely, grossly muscular and have them go to the Olympics.
Well, I mean,
Push the limits of humanity to the brink.
anyways, why are we way off the topic? I don't understand.
Back to forward-facing
Yes,
sonar
so
division.
they actually, the thing I kind of like this. So this is a fake article, a fake concept, but it is kind of interesting. They split it up between. So there's two subcategories of the division. So it would be FFS, so live scope assisted or live scope verified. So live scope assisted would be I saw a brush pile that had fish on it, and then I ignored it, and I fished the brush pile and caught the fish. That's assisted. Okay. FFS or live scope verified would be that that's like the lake trout stuff we're doing, where you're just spotting the fish. I watch my bait go down, I hook it, and live scope was involved in the whole process. That would be a lesser category. Yeah.
I think that's where they lost me, right?
Yeah.
I think, oh, wait a minute. This sounds a little too much.
Yeah.
But interesting.
Yeah.
Wondering if anybody else has some great April Fool's jokes that they've read about or maybe initiated or were part of. Let us know. Drop us a line. We're always into a laugh or two. Fan question submitted by Braden Kessler via email. And now, does this qualify for anything? Or
No.
Unfortunately not.
Unfortunately
No.
not.
Okay, just checking.
So if you want to qualify, you have to ask these on YouTube. We do get a lot of people emailing still, especially because through the contest, our email is there and everything. We love hearing from you on email, but if you wrote this on YouTube, you could win some stuff. So you should move there.
Anyways, this week's question says, "Hey guys, I saw Pete's wiring job on the boat on Instagram. I'm assuming we did something.
We posted a picture of it. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
He was pulling his wire like he always
yeah.
does. Okay.
That's where Nick needs to be on that button.
No kidding.
I would have pressed like the
Right
blue.
away. Boom.
I was trying to look at the wire
It's
picture.
the blue one, I think.
There's a bunch of boats.
No.
It's not.
Oh, well.
I'm living a nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, and it got me thinking, how much of what we see on the show is actually DIY? I'm the same way, and I like to handle a lot myself, whether it's boat maintenance, wiring, or even making my own baits. With how much you guys are on the road, is that kind of hands-on approach still realistic, or do you end up relying more on others? I guess the best one would have been best example of, there's been a multitude of examples, but one that I could think of that really stood out to me was the shoot that we did on, God, I know,
Is this a
I'm
Gar
terrible.
shoot?
No. This is with
Very descriptive. I know, dude, you're painting the picture
the
for
one
me
where
right
we
now.
found the net.
Oh, Nordic Point.
Nordic Point.
Yeah.
Nordic Point. So we were breaking in some new equipment. We had just installed a new electric motor on the bow of the boat. And we were so proud of the install. By the way, Pete and I install all of the stuff on our boat. Our boat comes in, and then we spend the next week, 2 or 3, and we build everything from
And I think
scratch.
that's going to be on YouTube this year.
Is it?
We're going to include some of
nice.
that.
That's
nice.
I'm gonna be in the bay with Pete with an Osmo.
And that started years ago, mostly because we couldn't afford to have it done anyplace else. And then as time wore on, we actually wanted to do it because we discovered that the more you know about your boat, the easier it's going to be when you have a problem with any of this equipment, because you put it in there. You know exactly what the install was, where everything's plugged in, what the potential problems could have been when you built it. Because there's always, during our builds, we always say, man, I hope that doesn't ever go there, because if we got to get at that, that means we got to tear that apart and bring that. So there's always those moments. And if you don't know that and you break down in the middle of a lake somewhere, you're pretty much euchred. We can pretty well guarantee you that if we have a meltdown anywhere with our boat, it may take us a few hours to diagnose exactly what it is, but we'll find it and we'll fix it. On this particular shoot, we were into some of the dirtiest water conditions, and I'm not talking color, I'm talking rough, that we have faced in a number of years, if you recall.
Yeah.
And the problem with having a boat like ours is that sometimes it compensates for the nastiness so much that you don't throttle back and you don't say, "Whoa, boy, that's going to hurt," because the boat just compensates for it. The hull that this Princecraft boat that we use, the same hull we have been since 2013 when it was first brought online. The Expedition 200 hull is such a great hull for big, rough, open water that sometimes it fools you into thinking it's not quite as bad as it really is. Well, we made it across this stretch of water that we probably had no business even crossing that
It was a
day,
nasty day.
right?
Yeah.
And when we got to where we were going, we discovered that our trolling motor was pretty much tore right off the bow of the boat. When we went to deploy it, when you put it down in the water, the thing just about fell in the lake. So that night back at camp, we basically had to rebuild the whole thing, and because it had torn, it was so rough, and we hit so many big rogue waves that the metal that was supporting the trolling motor had actually ripped right off. And so we had to do some fancy work. And we spent about 3 hours that night trying to get it back in working order. We did, and went out the next couple of days, and it was fantastic. That's just one of many. We have been on a lake so often where we've had issues with batteries or pumps.
We lost power steering last year.
We lost power steering.
And we were able to identify quick.
We lost the throttle one year, too.
Yeah,
lost the throttle.
That was on Lake of the Woods. We're in the middle of nowhere.
Never mind that. Were either one of you guys,
Island.
were either one of you guys on the shoot on Lake Champlain?
No.
No?
No.
Oh my God. We've got video of it. So we were way out offshore on a series of, islands and points that was under normal conditions. It was probably about a 40-minute ride back that night would have been, right? Under normal conditions, being full out, up on plane, 70 miles an hour. So when we turned around to head home at the end of our day, we discovered that we had zero control to our motor from the steering wheel. We had lost connectivity, if you will, between the two. They weren't speaking to each other. So if the motor was just going on its own.
Oh, wow.
And this was a big 300 horsepower brute of a motor.
Yeah.
So how do you get back? And the sun's dropping. How do you get back? So what we ended up doing was taking at that time, we carried a push pole in the bowels of the boat in one of the rod lockers, big aluminum extendable pole.
Yeah.
And we always, as you know, or both of you should know, we carry gaff tape. I insist. Gaff tape is the most important commodity that
elusive,
an angler
though.
can have.
It's very elusive.
It was only elusive with
Vova.
With Vova. It was very elusive, Mr. Vova.
So we ended up gaff taping this pole to the side of the 300, and I sat back near the transom with the pole. It was like the
I've
old
seen
days.
footage of this.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to steer it, and Pete is throttling it
Yeah.
all the way home. But we knew that I tell you that story because, had we not been intimately familiar with all of our equipment on our boats and the way they run and the riggings up, we would have never made it out of there that night. I don't know. We would have camped in the marsh or something.
Yeah.
So it's important. It's extremely important. If you have the opportunity and if you have any inclination at all on being able to screw things together and put parts together, please build some of your own components on your boat. Extremely important.
It's also fun.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's like adult Lego.
A certain sense of pride involved.
We've got the picture there. It is pretty intimidating when you look at it. It's a bit of a mess. I mean, it's like an organized mess, but it's.
We had one of these beasts that was spewing water into the hull of the boat through the big conduit that connects all of the wiring from the motor to the boat. Right? And we had blown a connection on one of the water pumps on the motor. We didn't know, but it was basically picking up lake water and spewing it into that 3-inch tube, shooting it into the hull of the boat. So every time you throttle, you're putting 20, 30 gallons of water in the boat.
Oh my God.
Anyways, I will not bore you with the things that have happened to us out in the field. He also goes on to say about the same way about handling a lot of the stuff, not only boat maintenance and wiring, but even making my own baits, which I think is a wonderful thing for all of us that are into fishing, that we should try our hand at every once in a while, because sometimes you come up with a real gem.
Yeah. I started fly tying again last night. I hadn't tied a fly in 3 years.
Wow.
Got inspired last night and tied a few.
Now, what in the hell inspired you to start tying a fly last night?
So the video we're working on right now, the fly that I used in that video, I used it the whole video. I used the same one. That was my last one. So I still have it. It's pretty beat up. And I realized I have a trip planned in May. And I realized that that's the only one I have. These flies are hard to tie. They take like 3 hours a pop.
Isn't that great, though?
Yeah, it is.
Fantastic.
But it takes a lot. So I figured, okay, if I start now, I'll do one a week. I'll have a good handful of them for that trip.
Nick, you couldn't do that.
No chance.
You're not the type of guy
I mean,
to sit
I can
there.
do some of it, but no.
You'd lose interest
I'd
halfway.
lose,
in.
I'd lose real
Yeah.
quick.
Just finding where's the thread. Once he
Yeah.
found the bob and the thread, he's done.
Yeah.
Right?
I like a little stimulation in my life. I'm a stimulant.
You can be stimulated while doing it.
Absolutely. So there you go. Braden Kessler via email. Hopefully we answered that for you. Yes, we're very much hands-on. Most of us are around here. This episode is brought to you by Sail. Sail is proudly Canadian and stocked with over 100 Canadian brands you know and love.
From rods and reels to sonars to kayaks and every last lure you've seen on the Fishing Canada show, Sail has all the gear to get you on the water.
Drop into one of 12 stores across Ontario and Quebec and talk to the real fishing specialists, or gear up online anytime at sail.ca.
Sail, the ultimate destination for your outdoor adventures.
Hey anglers, want to turn your next catch into a competition? Well, check out Anglers Leaderboard, the new fishing platform that lets you track your catches, join friendly competitions, enter tournaments, and see how you rank against others in your region. Use your phone and the photo measure board to automatically detect length and species. No more guesswork. Whether you're fishing for pleasure or to compete, ALB makes every catch count. What's your ALB score? Well, get Anglers Leaderboard today and start climbing the ranks. Visit anglersleaderboard.com to learn more. On to today's guest. His name is Dean Taylor. He now joins us in the booth. So here's how I want to start this out. First of all, there is a video that's coming out. We're not sure exactly when.
Yeah.
That will be a preview of an actual Fishing Canada episode that we're going to have in the mix for next year's broadcast. And today we wanted to talk, I called it at the beginning of the program, the elephant that's been in the room here for the last 3 or 4 years. And that was the time that Dean first joined the company.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And we've never really talked about it, but as most of you know who follow us regularly, and more in particular Dean, and have watched Dean and watched him grow in this business, you know that Dean has a speech impediment.
Yeah, I've had it I've never really talked about it that openly. It's funny because even when I got hired, I don't think you and I talked about it for years.
It took me about a year to talk to you. And I don't even think it was like a real conversation.
No.
It was sort of in passing.
Yeah. Because it was, and the reason I think it was an elephant in the room was because, and you'll see in this episode, it became kind of clear after about a year here that I didn't want to just be in the position I got hired for, which was to mostly be at a desk. Like, we have our hands in everything here. No one truly has one position. But I wanted to be on the road. I had watched the show my whole life, and it was never something I thought of. Like, I never figured, okay, I could be a TV host. Like, people with speech impediments don't host TV shows.
Usually, and I can't think of any right now, to be honest with you.
I've actually read some books later in life that showed that, some news anchors and stuff had it. But anyways, so growing up, I've had the speech impediment my whole life. My grandpa had it about as bad as I did. My dad had it, but he lost it around like middle school.
Wow.
Yeah, so it comes back. If he's like really tired or something, he starts to sound like me again. But for the most part, it's not there. I started doing speech therapy when I was in high school, and it started to go away to the point where it stopped bothering me. It's always like lingers. It always bothers you because, I get out about a quarter of what I want to say just because I have to dodge like the words I can use. Like, even now, that's what I'm doing. And that's something I learned in speech therapy, that if you can build a vocabulary strong enough, it gives you more words to dodge the words. You're basically just trying to like sneak up on your brain. It's really weird.
It has nothing to do with the actual word itself, then, I'm assuming, right? So let's say the word is book.
Yeah.
It's not something in the word book. It's got it, or is it?
So it would be, like certain letters are worse than others, but for example, like book, if I knew that was the word I had to say, it would be easier for me to say notepad because my brain is anticipating book. I can confuse it. But yeah, so I've had it since I was in I'd say it was at its worst when I was in elementary school. It never really like hindered me or anything. Maybe it would stop me from putting up my hand in class. Like I remember pretending like I didn't know, like I was like I didn't know anything back then because I didn't want to put my hand up. I didn't want to be called on. So I was just like quiet. I kind of wanted to just be at the back of the room and that was it. Then around middle school and high school was when it started to kind of go away, when I started to work at it. And honestly, when I started not to really care that much, which I think is the key to it, is that you have to kind of take the power from it, which I don't know if that's the case with everyone with a speech impediment. Mine isn't. I don't think mine is like a physical issue. I think it's some sort of mental issue that causes it.
If I was to opinionate on that, I would say definitely, because I've watched you evolve over the last 4 years, and I've seen you struggle, and then I've seen you conquer, and I think, wow, like same situation, but he struggled this time, and now look at him, right? So a lot of people that are afflicted with this, and I don't know any of their names in particular, but especially singers. There are singers who go up on stage and up until the minute that first note is dropped, they're stuttering every second word.
Yeah.
And then they start singing and they're like canaries.
Yeah, so that uses a different part of your brain. So I think the gene that causes a stutter is like the FOXP2, I think it's called. When you sing or when like actors, like I know Emma Blunt, you know her? She's like a British lady. She's in like a quiet place. She has it.
Apparently Elvis had one.
Really?
Elvis, Ed Sheeran,
Winston Churchill.
the guy from Coldplay, Bill Weathers.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of famous musicians.
Good crowd.
So about a year into our relationship, and by the way, so I want to set the record straight. I probably hired Dean because of it. If you really want to know the truth. I mean, I liked everything else about him as well, but I hired him because I admired the fact that here he is applying for work for a company that he has been watching as a kid. And, you know, there's a certain star factor there when he's talking to me. And I thought, wow, like this guy has got this kind of courage and determination. He's got to be here with us. And that was the probably the main factor.
Really?
Yeah. But
I didn't know that.
I didn't think at the time that we would bring the relationship to where it is today in terms of being on an open mic and or as you will see in the episode that we're producing, watching him evolve in front of the camera. Dean spent, the first year and a half or almost 2 years working behind the scenes and studying every day, studying all of the aspects of being a host. I could tell.
Oh, he religiously do. I remember
exactly.
at Newborough Lake was one show we did. And Dean wasn't even fishing. He just sat in the boat with a notebook.
Yep.
And wrote down every single thing that we had done that day. And the best part was in that shoes, we caught no fish.
Yeah. Well, sometimes those are the best days for learning, right?
And it was really impressive.
And so we talked about it after a while, and I asked you, what do you think about getting in front of the camera? And you convinced me that it was doable, but we still had no proof yet that you could overcome. And
you and I had a difference in opinion on strategy because I was trying to take, I think, probably the easier way, which was, okay, yeah, I can do it. And so I think you said, okay, let's do it right now. And I was like, whoa, hold on. I can't, I need some time to prepare and all this stuff. So you kind of let that go. But I think your opinion right then was you need to just be thrown in or else you're going to sabotage yourself.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what this show, so this was shot a few years, at least 1 year before Obabaco. So Obabaco is technically my first time on camera in terms of what you've seen. This was, the video that we're putting out was, at the time I got the call from Ange out of nowhere to come on the boat with him. I was not on that shoot to be on camera. I was in a secondary boat. They got their show done a day early, which is why this even happened. So I had absolutely no time to prepare. And I think you can see it on my face in the B-roll shots on the way to the destination. Now looking back, I'm like, man, I look miserable.
Yeah.
Because like, how could this guy he's getting to be on like a TV show he's seen forever, why is he not so happy? But it was all just like, oh my God, like I'm going to blow this.
And that was the best way to do it because we gave you very little time to mull it over.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It was literally a matter of, I'd say, from start to finish, about an hour and a half from when he was informed to when the camera went on in the field. And this is an image that you're seeing there from that shoot. And I was so impressed but I had a feeling, I kind of knew that was going to happen. I had a feeling that once you got into your element, and your element is on the business end of a fishing rod. Once you got into your element and in this kind of environment, I had a feeling that what stutter was going to be the next phrase that you were going to learn, right? And man, did you ever knock that out of the park?
Yeah, it surprised myself too. I remember even just listening to myself talk, I'd kind of be catching up to myself because I'd be talking just out of instinct while we're doing our thing. And then all of a sudden I'd have a voice come and be like, wait, you're on camera. And the biggest thing, which is something I still notice, and I don't think I've ever mentioned it, is that I still have that when as soon as the fishing part of this segment is over, then it's like, whoa, there's a camera guy here.
Now
when I'm on the rod and I'm talking about the fish and talking about everything, I'm good. And then as soon as it's gone, I'm like, oh, okay. Now we're on camera again. It still happens. Yeah.
By the way, you may wonder why I call him Dean the Dancing Machine, because early in his shooting career, one of the things that Dean did a lot, especially when he was on a big deck of a boat, he'd dance all over the deck when he had a fish on. Yeah, I told you, he's just constantly on the move, and I think, whoa, slow down.
Yeah,
baby.
I couldn't stay still at all.
So that's why he's the Dancing Machine.
Yeah.
So has this prompted you to try other things? Has it changed the way you view your impediment? Or give me some behind the scenes stuff from your head.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with a stutter is proving you can do it in certain scenarios. So getting over the hump on this episode, even though this had never aired until now, getting over that hump to prove to myself, oh wait, when you're on camera, you don't stutter. Now I don't have that intrusive thought of you're going to mess this up. Like now I know I can do it. So that voice is not as powerful.
We interrupt this program to bring you a message from Anglers Leaderboard, an AI-powered platform built for today's anglers. Use your phone and the photo measure board to automatically detect length and species, log catches, and track your stats over time. Whether you're fishing solo or joining a regional tournament, ALB helps you stay organized and competitive. Head over to anglersleaderboard.com to learn more and start using ALB today.
A lot of... And one thing I was actually nervous about on the road, it's really bad if I'm tired or stressed. And that's what the road is. It's tiring and stressful.
Absolutely. There's not a moment that's not.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. There's not a moment that's not. If
Yeah.
you love your job, if you care about what you're doing, yeah, there's not a moment that there isn't stress involved. And tiring because we start early in the morning, and as everybody who has ever joined the Fishing Canada team finds out real early, we take our job very seriously. We start early in the morning, and we're not back until late at night every day. And you put together, a week of that environment, plus being on the deck of a boat, we have to perform. The stress levels are through the roof. And that's kind of why I thought that this little experiment was going to work, because my thinking is that you're going to be so preoccupied with the stress of doing what we do that it's going to take away from your even remotely thinking about anything else.
I think anything that puts you into the moment kind of removes the stutter. Like the stutter is like a voice telling you it's going to happen. At least for me, like I think there are people who have like physical speech impediments. I mean, mine's hereditary, obviously. So there must be a physical component of it. But for me, it's mostly a mental hurdle. of just like proving to myself I can do certain things. I remember, presenting in class was never something I proved to myself I could do. It's crazy. Like I'm talking on a podcast, there's like, tens of thousands of people listening to this, which is kind of insane. And then, hundreds of thousands, millions at the end of the year on the Fishing Canada show. Yeah. But I could not present to a class full of like 20 people. I don't even know if I still could. I have no idea.
Now, the fact that this audience is not here, you can't touch and feel the audience, you think that makes a difference? Like if there was a room full of people right now sitting in chairs, how do you think you would deal with that?
Depends on what I'm talking about, I think. I think if I'm up here like this and we were doing this live, like if we were at the Sportsman Show doing this live, I think I could manage. If I was doing a presentation on something I'm not passionate about, then probably not.
We got to try it.
Yeah, do like a seminar, like a
the next time we've got a group of people.
I'll do the fish tank on the.
You go to Leo's Fish Tank.
You gonna go swimming?
Yeah,
we got to try it.
Yeah.
Regardless, I mean, for us, it obviously is a huge benefit because we've added another dimension, another layer to the talent called Dean Taylor. So for us, it's a plus. Notwithstanding that. You are just a perfect fit with this motley crew.
No, thanks.
And I was worried about that at the beginning, to be honest with you, because you don't fit the mold. But that has worked out extremely well. And I think as time goes by, I think that you're going to find different ways of distracting yourself from your problems. And I think they're going to be a thing of the past at some point.
Yeah,
I really do.
Well, it's interesting doing this episode because even this was you and I went back and forth on this for a few years actually before we started producing this. Yeah. Like when or if do we acknowledge it?
Right.
Because my whole life has been mostly just ignoring it.
Yeah.
I never cared. If I don't care, other people don't care. But I cared enough to not talk about it.
Right.
Surprisingly, no one brings it up, I think, because they feel awkward.
It's a strange...
It's like if someone doesn't have a leg, you don't ask them, well, maybe you do. I don't know.
Well, I'm missing a leg. If you were missing a leg, that's the first thing I'm asking is, how'd you lose the leg?
Yeah.
But it's one of those things like... It's awkward to be like, hey, man, what gives?
Yeah.
When, obviously you can tell someone's trying.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've had recently... occasions to find out that people have a difficult time to deal with talking about death and the passing of a loved one.
Yeah.
I've had so many guys that I've talked to, I'd say in the last couple of months that have said, listen, I didn't call you when your daughter passed away because honestly, I didn't think I could talk to you. I've had so many say that.
Yeah.
And this past few days, I was at a building store and we saw each other and that's the first thing he said, and he says, I just don't know how to deal with those things. I don't know what to say. So I think there's a lot of people maybe out there in the same boat when it comes to whether it's a speech impediment or some disfigurement. You mentioned the leg, but it could be a multitude of different things. I think we as humans and it's probably feeling, maybe it's empathy, maybe it's caring so much that we don't know how to broach the subject. We don't know whether that person wants us to broach the subject. You know what I mean?
Or if they know, hey, maybe he doesn't know. Maybe I'm going to tell him he has a speech impediment.
Well, I don't want to, downplay that. But people are just afraid.
Yeah.
And if we would just cut through that crap, most people, and I certainly found you to be one of those most people, actually appreciate the discussion.
Well, that's one thing that I think kind of pushed me over the edge of being okay with doing this episode was maybe that's part of the hurdle is like, if you go through your whole life pretending that you don't have a certain problem or downplaying it, I mean, at least with a speech impediment, it makes it worse for the most part because it puts more pressure. Like, okay, I have to be so perfect because I'm trying to hide this thing. Now, if people know and we have to put a take on where I stutter a little bit. I mean, it happens in this podcast, it's happened already in this episode. It's not that big of a deal. Everyone knows. I mean, whatever.
There was a guy on the Howard Stern show for years, and then he went on to become a regular on the Jay Leno show.
Yep.
And his on-stage name was Stuttering John. You know who I'm talking about?
I think I've heard him on Stern.
So he spent years dealing with this to the point where it went from being a crutch to being a great tool.
Yeah.
That gave him opportunities that he would have never had. And I wonder if, because he, unlike you, was not able to put it away
Yeah,
when he's
I'm
on,
very
when he's
lucky
on a
in that
mic.
sense.
You can.
Well, mine goes away sometimes. Sometimes I can have whole days where it doesn't happen. And I normally, like when I wake up, I know if I'm too tired or whatever.
I know you're aware of this, but I just want to tell you, one of the most difficult things that people have to do when they're dealing with somebody that has a speech impediment is you want to scream the word out to you.
Yeah.
Right? You want to just, and that's difficult for most people to
For sure.
hold back.
I remember, I don't know the psychology behind it. I know this is like an outdoor podcast, but this is whatever. I remember when I first went into speech therapy when I was a little kid, that was the one thing they told my parents was never finish a thought for them. I don't know why.
Well, I agree with that thinking.
Yeah, like you gotta get through. You just gotta kind of
got to do it on your own. Otherwise, you become dependent on somebody else finishing your sentences for you, right? So,
but yeah, I mean, those guys who have, I mean, my speech impediment, I'm very lucky. It goes on and off. Like I'm able to talk on a podcast and be on a TV show, so it's not that bad.
good on you, brother.
But yeah, other people have it much, much worse, and I feel for them.
Good on you, man.
Yeah.
Doing a great job. On that note, I do want to just remind folks that this episode that we're talking about that's coming out will be on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, it should be.
And then it's going to kind of be a preview to the actual Fishing Canada episode that we will put together for next season that will kind of chronicle Dean's progress through this whole situation from day one. So keep an eye out for that. Great viewing for sure. That or it? Did we miss anything?
I got one thing I want to ask our lovely listeners. Because this YouTube episode that we're putting out is a new thing. We don't really we've never done. I don't think ever.
We've never had occasion to.
Occasion to, but if like we mentioned the boat thing, we're going to start doing the DIY. If you guys have any ideas, any cool things that maybe we haven't thought of that you'd like to see us, a bunch of goons, do, let us know.
For sure.
If you got some cool stuff and write it in, send something because, we're always looking for stuff to do, new things. And if you got one, let us know.
Excellent. That or it. On behalf of the entire crew, Nikki V on the board today. Great job. I would have liked a couple more buttons pushed, but
There's a bunch of bullshit.
yeah, well, you're stuck on that one.
I don't know where the other ones are.
My co-host this week has been Dean Taylor of Fishing Canada fame now.
We're not having the button yet. Come on now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I'll take that.
I'm Angelo Vile. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time. Take care. This episode of Outdoor Journal Radio has been brought to you in part by the Invasive Species Center, protecting Canada's land and water from invasive species. Freedom Cruise Canada, rent the boat, own the memories. And J&B Cycle & Marine, your home for all things power sports, boats, and equipment.